What's up, guys? James Charles has got himself into some serious drama over on Twitter, and even influencers are starting to call him out. It's a mess, so let's get into it.
Exposed. Exposed. You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Exposed, 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 exposed. You are exposed, sir. I'm gonna expose you. Expose you. Oh my god, expose you.
This past year, the pandemic has hit us all really hard. A lot of people have either lost their jobs, are forced to work from home, or are considered essential and have to risk their health every day. Influencers are probably in the most fortunate position right now, being able to make a living online without having to step foot outside of their home. Although, strangely enough, this year it seems like a certain group of influencers have been collabing with large friend groups more than ever before. And yes, James Charles is a part of that group. Since the pandemic started, James Charles has done at least 20 in-person collab videos. Some videos are just with one person like Kylie Jenner or Emma Chamberlain, but others are in really large groups of TikTokers. TikTokers that like to go to parties, mingle in huge friend groups every weekend, and take trips to the Bahamas. Just recently, James did a Christmas collab video with Charlie Dixie, Lorraine, Noah, and Chase Hudson, where he said he had a bit of a cold coming on, and that wasn't going to stop him from his normal holiday festivities with friends.
I know, my voice sounds so bad. I'm wondering whether right now I just have a little bit of a cold, but that is not going to stop me from my holiday festivities with my best friend.
First off, the cold should definitely stop you from normal holiday festivities, but what should really stop you is the pandemic and the lockdown that California has been in for weeks now. I feel like this is the collab that kind of pushed people over the line because right now it has 24,000 dislikes and a lot of fans have shared their thoughts. Why are influencers so hypocritical these days? They preach stay at home and quarantine, but here we have James Charles hanging out with his friends while he has a cold and when LA is in lockdown. A lot of influencers make the excuse that they'll get tested before doing collabs, but that's where I pose the question. Is it really worth getting a pipe cleaner shoved up your nose and still risking your health just to collab with TikTokers? Another excuse I heard over and over again was that TikTokers have to collab right now because it's their job to keep everyone entertained. I mean, sure, you can collab with people all you want, but why can't you do it like how Nikki Tutorials and Selena Gomez did it? It's simple. Anyways, the other day, James Charles tweeted, "What videos do you want to see from me in 2021? And here's what a few people underneath this tweet had to say. Ones where you stay home by yourself. The one where you apologize to high-risk people who have sat at home and watched you break every rule while we worry our essential worker family and partners may bring COVID home to us and we don't have a bed in the ICU. A really popular YouTuber named Chris also replied to James's tweet and said, "This stay-at-home challenge, the wear the mask tag, maybe the one where you convey to your impressionable audience how you properly handle a global pandemic." This isn't shade or tea or anything. I truly want the best for James, but it's just insanely disrespectful and selfish to be treating this pandemic the way he and his friends continue to do. It's weird. Another influencer named Jen McAllister used her platform to call James out, saying, "If you're an influencer in LA and you're still collabing with people outside of your household, I genuinely hope you're filled with so much guilt that you can't even move. Someone in the city dies every 10 minutes from COVID. If you can't make content by yourself, you're boring." James Charles got a little bit bold and replied to Jen with a screenshot of Joey Graceffa's latest video titled, "I played the most chaotic game of Among Us in real life," which Jen took part in. And he said, "This you?" He replied again under his own tweet and said, "Just to clarify, I'm not innocent either, as I took part in the exact same video on my own channel. I'm just sick of seeing influencers acting holier than others when they're guilty too." A fan replied to James and asked him if he even bothers to get tested before he films all of these collab videos with different people. And he said, "Of course. My team and I get tested weekly to be safe and precautionary. I'm sure Jen did too." I mean, you wouldn't have to get tested if you just stayed inside, which tons of people replied and said to James. One person wrote, "You wouldn't have to get tested every week if you stayed inside." To which James replied, "I've been in my house for the last year straight. I barely ever leave. I would still pay to get us all tested weekly, even if we were locked inside because it's a safe and precautionary thing to do." First off, that's a waste of a test. And second off, the logic of him staying inside and not leaving his house for the past year isn't true and also doesn't make sense. James went to a party in the middle of a pandemic. The paparazzi caught him out at a food truck, Hollywood Fix caught him at a cafe in LA in August, they caught him out for dinner for Addison's birthday, and they also caught him at Boa Steakhouse multiple times. Let's also not forget about the little trip that he took to Hawaii with his friends. He was literally on the beach with no mask and there was people around him. Can you imagine going to Hawaii for vacation or work, whatever he wants to call it? How exactly is that being in your house for a year straight? Also, based on James's logic, that must mean we should be able to gather and have parties as long as it's done in our own house and we physically don't have to go to another person's house. What about all the people that are coming over to your house in groups, then going out and partying or traveling to the Bahamas? At this point, James was getting so much backlash. Even Philip DeFranco, who literally never gets into drama because he's like the dad of YouTube news, replied to James and called him out, saying, "Why'd you delete the other tweets?" Another person tweeted James and told him that he's wasting tests for people who actually need them just because he can't stay inside. And James responded and said, "There are millions of tests. Getting tested to ensure the safety of myself, my team that lives with me, or anyone we come in contact with is not wasting tests." Once again, not true. Pause the video and just Google COVID test shortage and look at how many news articles come up about running out of tests and only being able to perform a certain amount a day. Some people still can't get one unless they're showing symptoms. It's an extreme privilege just to be able to pay for one every week because you want to see Charli D'Amelio. Some people started calling James out because they felt like he was just throwing Joey under the bus by pointing out that Joey has also collabed with other influencers. James responded to those people by saying, "I'm not trying to drag anyone into anything. I love Joey. I filmed the same video for my channel inspired by Joey's, so I'm not innocent either. I just think it's really hypocritical to call others out when you've done the same thing." And I mean, that is true. This isn't just a James Charles issue. There's been so many influencers on this platform that have been doing collabs since the start of the pandemic. There's people like Tana Mojo and Nikita Dragon that just flat out don't care and post themselves partying every weekend and traveling to Miami. I think it comes down to these people living in their own self-absorbed bubble in LA, and they just can't comprehend why normal people would be so upset at them partying and collabing. These people are in such a fortunate position where they can just stay at home and still make millions of dollars a year, yet they choose to collab and put everyone at risk. Jem McAllister, who originally called James Charles out, put out a statement after things settled down a bit and tagged him on Twitter. "I don't know if I should reply to you since you deleted your tweets, but yes, I was asked to be a part of a collab back before Thanksgiving when the stay-at-home order in LA was lifted. It's the only thing I've done for the entirety of 2020. I didn't see anyone before then, and I haven't seen anyone since then either. Maybe my tweet was worded poorly, but I was trying to comment on the current state of LA. Cases have been going up since Thanksgiving, and the stay-at-home order was reinstated around then too. I just don't think we're on the same level here. I wasn't calling you out directly, but if you want to call me out directly, then I'd just like to point out the 5+ collabs you filmed in December where you're sick to the point that you can hear it in your voice."
I know, my voice sounds so bad. I'm under the weather right now, I just have a little bit of a cold, but that is not going to stop me from my holiday festivities with my best friend.
James quickly responded by saying, "My collabs were filmed before the stay-at-home order was reinstated. I had a cold and got tested a few times to ensure it wasn't COVID. I didn't claim innocence, just think it's hypocritical of you to call out others for not social distancing when you haven't been perfect either. Regardless, I really like you and I don't want to fight. Hence why I deleted my tweets once they started getting attention in the first place. I actually think he deleted them because he was getting called out, but whatever. If you want to further talk, I followed you so we can DM, but if not, I hope you enjoy your night." James Charles also got stuck in his own bathroom the other day and posted about it on Instagram, so hopefully that means COVID cases will drop for at least that day. Anyways guys, let me know what you think about everything down below. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button because it really does help my channel, and I'll see you next time.